I'm here at St. Stephen's Catholic Church in Portland, Oregon, and today is the fourth day in our Novena to St. Joseph, spouse of the Blessed Virgin Mary and patron of the Universal Church. And the year is the year of our Lord 2024. Now this year we are looking at another saint who had a great devotion to St. Joseph, and we're seeing how to have a devotion to St. Joseph, how to trust in St. Joseph, how to allow St. Joseph to work in our lives by studying the life of this saint. And this is St. André Basset, Brother André, and the book we are looking at is The Miracle of the Mountain by Alden. It is the story of Brother André and the shrine on Mount Royal, and published in 1959 by Hawthorne Books. Now we move ahead now to chapter 6, entitled The Shrine on the Mountain. And let me show you a picture here. The Shrine on the Mountain. Thursday was a half-holiday for the students of Notre Dame. On this day, Brother André would sometimes find time to walk across the fields and orchards and up a narrow little path in the forest to a cliff that projected like a cape beyond the trees. There he would stand meditating while he looked at the superb view of fields and farms and the church steeples of the villages in the Canadian plain. To the south he could see the blue shimmer of water where the St. Lawrence River widened into Lake St. Louis, while to west and north his eyes might follow the serpentine Rivière des Prairies, embracing the Ile Jesus. The two mountains sprang abruptly from the plain like Mount Saint-Grégoire of his youthful memory, and at the northernmost limit of vision were the hazy, violet waves of the Laurentian Mountains. It was, Brother André felt, the most fitting spot for a shrine to the patron saint of Canada, but it belonged to a farmer named Michel Guérin. The official history of Notre Dame says that on a certain Thursday afternoon in 1890, one of the pupils, a little boy of 10, asked Brother André to take him along on his afternoon walk. Hand in hand, they climbed the steep path. When they reached the projecting cape, Brother André asked his small friend to kneel with him by a great tree. "I have hidden a medal of St. Joseph here," he said. "We will pray that he will arrange the purchase of this land for us." The little boy remembered that when the prayer was finished, Brother André said again and again, "We will get this land. St. Joseph must have a place." One may now trace the workings of faith through apparently unrelated events. In that year, 1890, Father Louis Geoffrion, who was now superior of the college, became troubled about the situation of Notre Dame. A sporting club had opened up next door. People used to ski over the mountain from Montreal in winter to have a drink there, or ride out in the open trolley cars on summer evenings. There was talk of building other amusement places on the potato field across the road and the vacant land on the mountainside. Father Geoffrion pictured his beloved college in the center of satanic revelry. He very much wanted to buy that land. Monsieur Guérin would not sell. Brother André continued to pray on his mountain for 6 years. On one occasion, Father Geoffrion went there with Brother Alderic to place another medal in the tree and pray to St. Joseph. In 1896, Monsieur Guérin's heart was finally softened, and the sale went through. Holy Cross acquired about 25 acres of the mountainside, including the crest and Brother André's promontory. And when the deed was signed on July 22nd, 1896, the religious of Sainte Croix went to work on their mountain. And with Brother André working hardest of all, they cleared and widened the path, cutting steps in the rocks where it was steepest. They also cleared an open space on the plateau. Then, in procession, they climbed the new trail. Brother André carried a statuette of St. Joseph holding the Christ child, which he placed in a little cave in the rocks. Others had a bucket of white paint, and triumphantly they painted in big letters on a rock the words Boulevard Saint-Joseph, St. Joseph Boulevard. The first building erected on the mountain in 1897 was a little wooden belvedere or summer house. The official record, in a suddenly lyric mood, describes it, perched coquettishly on the plateau. It became a favorite picnic ground for the pupils and a place of meditation for the community of Holy Cross. In the springtime of 1898, as part of the celebration of the 50th anniversary of Holy Cross in Canada, a little stage was built on the picnic grounds. In that theater, whose scenery consisted of the leaves and flowers of the forest, the small pupils gave a charming play depicting the arrival of the religious of Holy Cross. It was a happy day for Brother André, but he had a greater ambition for St. Joseph. It was also in 1898 that Brother André put a little bowl at the foot of his statuette of St. Joseph on the hillside, hoping pilgrims would put offerings into it. When people came to see him in the parlor or the college, he would suggest that they go up to the belvedere to enjoy the beautiful view, and don't forget to say a prayer to St. Joseph. It was also, or almost every evening now, he went up the hill to pray and to see how much money was in the bowl. As he counted the pennies and nickels, he would say gleefully, 50 cents today for St. Joseph. In accordance with the rules of the community, he had obtained the permission of the new superior, Father Benjamin La Cavalier, to save the money to build a little shrine on the mountain. His hoard grew slowly, for his friends, though devout, were very poor. 6 years passed before he had accumulated the sum of $200, which Father La Cavalier decided was sufficient for a beginning. The superior, a handsome, straight-nosed man with a pompadour of silver hair, was sympathetic to Brother André. He obtained permission from Archbishop Paul Bruchesi of Montreal for the little porter to build his shrine, and assigned Brother Abundius to the work. It was September 1904, and Brother André had served as porter for almost 30 years. From the testimony of Joseph Pichet in religion, Brother Abundius of the Holy Cross. I worked on the first chapel. I don't remember the exact year. Father Benjamin La Cavalier was superior at that time. I was the handyman at the college, and the superior asked me to build a chapel. I built it 16 feet by 12. The altar had to be made of pine. He, Brother André, had received a present from Monsieur Dufresne, the sculptor, who had given the decorations for the interior of the tabernacle and certain pieces of wood. Brother André was very hard-working. I heard Father Le Cavalier say that he had never seen him so impatient. I think Brother André was ready for his mission. The construction took about 7 or 8 days of my free time. Brother André was convinced that the chapel would have to be enlarged, but he was content that a start had been made. One can picture the little brother hopping about in his impatience, trying very hard to help Brother Abundius and getting in the way of that competent carpenter who said he did not much good. Many people have spoken of the naive charm of that first minuscule chapel. It was so tiny that only the priests offering the Mass could be inside. Big double doors opened the whole back of it, and the congregation sat on ranks of backless benches up the mountainside, which formed a natural amphitheater. It had not even any windows. Light came through a double ribbon of unpolished glass set in the sloping roof. When the shrine was finished, there was still work to be done building a retaining wall of rocks to keep the ground from slipping down the slope steep, and widening St. Joseph's Boulevard for the dignitaries and pilgrims who would come to the inauguration of the oratory. Brother André himself told how he got help in these tasks. A man came to see me at the college. He was so thin that you felt you could see daylight through him. He had cancer of the stomach. I asked him, "Could you come and work for me tomorrow morning?" "I would like nothing better," he said, "but I have not the strength. I would have to be able to eat something." "Good," I said. "You will come to breakfast with me tomorrow." The next day I gave him a good repast. He went to work the same day. All trace of his malady had disappeared, and I employed him for several months. Meanwhile, Brother André had bought a beautiful old statue of St. Joseph holding the child. He induced one of the pensioners at the Home for the Aged to paint it in white and gold. The unknown sculptor had been inspired to depict in the serene, bearded face of the patriarch the infinite tenderness and love he felt for the infant Jesus. Brother André's first great moment, perhaps it was his greatest, came on October 19, 1904. That day, Vicar General Monseigneur Z. Racicot came to preside at the inauguration of the new sanctuary. The ceremonies began in the chapel of Notre Dame, where Brother André had prayed so fervently for this favor. There, the Vicar General blessed the statue of St. Joseph. From there, it was carried in triumph by 4 of the brothers. The church dignitaries led the way, and the statue was followed by the young students and their professors. The procession wound up the path through the bare trees, dripping from an autumnal drizzle, shrill voices and deep singing hymns in honor of St. Joseph. When they reached the shrine, the statue was placed on the provisional altar. Then the people took their places on the benches in the rain, as though it were full summer. The Vicar General, assisted by Father Le Cavalier, who was now superior of Notre Dame, and Father Geoffrion, blessed the new chapel and spoke touchingly of the goodness of St. Joseph. After the Mass, Monseigneur Racicot blessed a small statue of the Patriarch, which was hoisted to a niche over the door. So the heavenly protector of the church reigned gloriously in his picturesque corner of the mountain. His statue, on its dominating height above the main road, would henceforth be saluted by thousands of Catholic travelers who came to Montreal. And what of Brother André at his moment of triumph? As always, when the great prelates of the church, whom he respected so deeply, were present, he made himself as invisible as possible. But his humility did not dim his joy and pride, for these emotions were for St. Joseph, not for himself. So he stands a little apart in the rain, a tiny figure with curly white hair. He is almost 60 years old, having served God for 34 of those years. Yet with that prevision, which is one of the favors accorded him, he knows that he stands at the very beginning of his life's work. If you've ever prayed a novena to St. Joseph before, and I know that some of you have, maybe many of you have, maybe you haven't prayed a novena to St. Joseph before, my own personal experience is that St. Joseph answers prayers. And I trust that when I pray to him, he will answer my prayers. But he'll answer them in a surprising way, and not necessarily in the way that I ask for them. But I always notice that he does something. So have confidence. Have confidence that he will answer your prayers. And I think especially since we're also considering the life of Brother André, Saint André Bessette, we should also include him in this. Let us thank him for his devotion to St. Joseph, for showing us the way to be devoted to St. Joseph, and for showing us the way to trust in St. Joseph's intercession. Well, with that in mind, let us now pray our novena prayer, and let's see here. You can print this out at the link. There's a link beneath in the description beneath this video. You can print this out, double-sided with a short-sided binding, and fold it in half. And you'll have something akin to what we hand out here in church. Well, join me tomorrow for the 5th day in our novena, and don't miss a day of prayer with us.